The alarm blares, and for a moment, I'm just a body under the covers, a nameless weight. Then it hits me. I'm Jordan. It's Tuesday, and the exhaustion is already a physical presence, sitting heavy on my chest. I swing my legs out of bed, the floor cold against my feet. As the machine gurgles to life, I stare out the window. My heart does a familiar little flutter, a hummingbird trapped in my ribs. I go through the motions, shower, dress. The person in the mirror looks familiar, but the light in her eyes is gone, replaced by a dull, persistent ache. It's funny, burnout isn't a sudden explosion. I remember when this job was my dream. My passion hasn't just faded. It feels like it's been scraped out of me, leaving a hollow space behind. On the subway, I scroll through social media. Everyone's winning. Promotions, exotic vacations, perfect sourdough loaves. The words hit me hard. Rest. When was the last time I truly rested? At the office, the noise is overwhelming. It all feels like nails on a chalkboard. I put on my headphones, but the internal noise is even louder. My 9 a.m. meeting is a blur. I nod. I smile. I say things like, "Let's circle back on that," and "great synergy." Lunch is a sad desk salad, eaten while answering emails. Now I feel disconnected, like I'm watching my own life through a thick pane of glass. I'm present, but I'm not really here. The effort it takes to make small talk feels monumental. So I stay at my desk, hiding behind my screen. The afternoon drags on. My focus is shattered. I read the same sentence 5 times and still don't understand it. I start making small, careless mistakes. I'm incompetent. The anxiety tightens its grip. My shoulders are permanently hunched up by my ears. Someone asks if I'm okay. "Just tired," I say, forcing a smile. It's the standard answer, the easy lie. The clock finally hits 6. Freedom. But the work comes home with me, not in my bag, but in my head. I scroll through my phone again, a mindless escape that doesn't actually help. Lying in bed, sleep feels miles away. My body is exhausted, but my mind is running a marathon. But in the darkness, a tiny spark flickers, a memory of that quote, "Learning to rest is a form of productivity." Maybe burnout isn't the end of the story. Maybe it's a sign. If you're feeling this way, please know you are not alone. It's a sign that you have pushed yourself too hard for too long.
So she scrolls, because scrolling is easier than stopping. Scrolling is easier than admitting that she doesn't know what to do next. Scrolling is easier than facing the quiet terror of a life that feels like it's happening to her, not for her. At 7:32 a.m., she finally opens Slack. 12 messages. 3 are from her boss, who is currently on vacation in Maine but apparently still working. 2 are from a cross-functional team that scheduled a 9 a.m. meeting without checking if anyone actually wanted to meet at 9 a.m. The rest are in a channel called Summer Fun Ideas, where someone is trying to organize a July 4th rooftop gathering. She types, "Sounds great, I'll be there." She will not be there. She already knows she will not be there. She will come up with an excuse at 3 p.m. on July 4th and send a text with too many apologetic emojis, and then spend the evening alone, relieved and ashamed in equal measure. But that's later. Right now, she has responded. She has done her job. She has performed competence. It is 7:41 a.m. Her coffee is cold. Her back hurts from lying in the same position for an hour. Her phone battery is at 47%. She has not moved. Here is a statistic that should not surprise you, but probably will. 42% of Americans between the ages of 25 and 34 report that their morning routine consists primarily of scrolling social media while still in bed. Not exercising, not meditating, not preparing for the day, just scrolling. But here's the part that actually hurts. 90% of those same people say they know this habit ruins their day. They know it makes them more anxious, less focused, less present. They know it's not rest or relaxation or even genuine entertainment. They know it's just a buffer between them and the demands of existing. They know, they just don't know how to stop. Jordan knows. She has known for years. She has read the articles. She has saved the threads. She has screenshotted the infographics about dopamine loops and addiction architecture and the attention economy. She can explain in precise neurological detail exactly why she can't stop scrolling. Knowing doesn't stop her thumb. Knowing doesn't make her put the phone down. Knowing doesn't transform her into the person in the video, the one with the Chemex and the push-ups and the peaceful smile. Knowing just makes her feel worse. Because now she's not just failing, she's failing with full awareness. She's failing while knowing exactly why she's failing. She's failing while holding the solution in her hands and still choosing the failure. This is the specific flavor of modern despair, not ignorance. Not innocence, just paralysis, the inability to bridge the gap between understanding and action. The distance between knowing the recipe and tasting the soup. Jordan knows the recipe. Her phone is full of recipes. 47 of them, saved and forgotten, each one promising transformation if she just follows the instructions. But she doesn't follow instructions. She doesn't follow anything. She just scrolls and saves and scrolls and saves. And the distance between who she is and who she wants to be stretches wider every day. At 7:53 a.m., Jordan finally gets out of bed. It is not a triumphant moment. It is not a decision. It is just the natural consequence of needing to pee and being unable to ignore it any longer. Her feet find the floor. Her back cracks. Her hair is doing something complicated on one side of her head, flattened from the pillow, standing up on the other side. She does not look in the mirror. She has not looked in the mirror in 3 days. The bathroom is 5 steps from her bedroom. The floor tiles are cold, even in July. The apartment has central air, which sounds luxurious until you realize that the thermostat is in the hallway and controlled by the landlord, who believes that 68 degrees is an appropriate year-round temperature. She pees. She washes her hands with the pink soap that smells like artificial grapefruit. She does not look at her reflection. Back in the bedroom, her phone is waiting. She picks it up. Her thumb finds Instagram again, even though there is nothing new. Even though she watched everything already, even though the feed is now repeating content she saw an hour ago. Scroll, pause, The woman with the pistachio syrup is now making avocado toast. The man with the pull-ups is now doing dips. The teenager is now crying about something else. The nutritionist is now explaining why gluten is destroying her health. Jordan scrolls. Her coffee is completely cold now. She takes a sip anyway. It tastes like regret and old beans. It is 8:12 a.m. She has to leave for work in 80 minutes. She has not showered. She has not eaten. She has not mentally prepared for the day ahead. She has not done anything except exist in a state of low-grade panic, mediated by the warm glow of a phone screen. She opens her closet. Gray sweatshirt. Gray sweatshirt. Blue blouse she hasn't worn since March. Gray sweatshirt. She picks the gray sweatshirt. It's the cleanest one. She thinks. She's not entirely sure. She puts it on. It smells faintly of the bodega on the corner, of last night's dinner, of her own skin. It is comfortable. It is familiar. It is armor. She grabs her bag, keys, in the bowl by the door. She put them there last night, a rare moment of foresight. Sunglasses? Scratched and loose in the bottom of the bag, but present. Laptop charged and waiting. She is out the door at 8:27. She will be late, but not catastrophically late. Just late enough to feel the weight of it. Just late enough to enter the office with that specific energy of someone who is already behind and trying not to show it. The door closes behind her. The apartment settles into silence. The ceiling fan continues its slow rotation. Click, click, click.
The cold coffee sits on the nightstand, untouched except for that one bitter sip. It will sit there until tonight, when Jordan comes home and dumps it down the sink and tells herself that tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow will not be different. Tomorrow will be exactly the same. Here is the question that keeps me up at night. Not about Jordan specifically, but about all of us. About the millions of people waking up every morning to the same alarm, the same scroll, the same cold coffee, the same quiet desperation. What if the problem isn't that you're lazy? What if the problem isn't that you lack discipline, or willpower, or motivation? What if the problem isn't that you haven't found the right routine, or the right app, or the right planner? What if the problem is that you believe, somewhere deep down, that you don't deserve to feel better? What if you've been treating yourself like an enemy for so long that you've forgotten how to be on your own side? What if the reason you can't get out of bed isn't that you're tired, but that you don't believe the day is worth showing up for? What if the reason you scroll is that the scrolling is safer than stopping? Safer than sitting in the quiet and admitting that you're unhappy, that you're scared, that you're not sure who you are anymore? What if the monster under the bed isn't your phone, or your schedule, or your job? What if the monster is the voice that tells you you're not trying hard enough? Jordan is on the train now, the J train, heading toward Manhattan. She is standing because there are no seats. Her face is close to the window, which is smeared with something she doesn't want to identify. The tunnel walls rush past, dark and close. She is scrolling again. Of course she is scrolling. Her thumb has not stopped moving since she left the apartment. It moves independently now, divorced from conscious thought. A parasite that has learned to operate its host. She is looking at a video of a woman in Copenhagen riding a bicycle through the rain. The woman is wearing a yellow raincoat. She is smiling. Her basket contains fresh flowers and a baguette. Jordan is not in Copenhagen. She is on the J train, which is delayed because of signal problems at Marcy Avenue. She does not own a bicycle. She does not own a yellow raincoat. The last time she bought fresh flowers was 2023, and they died within a week because she forgot to water them. But she saves the video anyway. Maybe someday she will be the woman in the yellow raincoat, riding through the rain, smiling at nothing. Maybe someday. The train lurches forward. Jordan grabs the pole to steady herself. Her hand touches someone else's hand. She apologizes. They don't acknowledge it. She looks at her reflection in the dark window. Tired eyes, messy hair, gray sweatshirt. She doesn't recognize herself. Here is the lie, the one we all believe, the one that keeps us scrolling and saving and waiting for someday. The lie is this: you think you're resting. You're not. You're rehearsing failure. Every morning you spend scrolling in bed is a rehearsal. Every time you choose the gray sweatshirt over the blue blouse is a rehearsal. Every cold coffee, every missed breakfast, every late arrival, every apology text with too many emojis. These are not mistakes. These are rehearsals. You are practicing the role of someone who can't get it together. You are memorizing the lines. You are learning the blocking. You are becoming the character you pretend you don't want to be. And the terrifying thing about rehearsals is that they work. You get better with practice. You get more convincing. You internalize the role until you can't remember who you were before you started playing it. Jordan has been rehearsing this role for years. She is excellent at it. She could win awards for her portrayal of a person who is trying but failing, who knows better but can't do better, who is just one perfect morning routine away from finally getting her life together. She is so convincing. She even fools herself. But here's the thing about rehearsals. They're not the real performance. The script can be rewritten. The blocking can be changed. The character can be transformed. Not overnight. Not by finding the perfect routine, or buying the perfect planner, or saving the perfect video. But slowly, painstakingly, one line at a time. It starts with recognizing the rehearsal for what it is. It starts with noticing the scroll, the delay, the cold coffee. It starts with asking yourself one question. If I wasn't rehearsing failure right now, what would I be doing? Jordan doesn't ask herself this question. Not yet. She is still in the rehearsal. She is still waiting for someday, but someday is not coming. Someday is not a train that arrives. Someday is a door that only opens from the inside. And Jordan is still standing on the platform, scrolling, waiting for a sign. The train arrives at Essex Street. Jordan gets off. She walks up the stairs and emerges into the July heat. The sun is fully up now, aggressive and indifferent. She squints. Her scratched sunglasses do nothing. She walks the 3 blocks to her office. She passes the same bodega she passes every morning. The same doorman. The same woman walking the same small dog. The same scaffolding that has been up for 18 months and will probably be up for 18 more. She swipes her badge. The elevator doors open. She steps inside. The elevator music is a Muzak version of a song she liked in college. She doesn't recognize it anymore. Her floor, the doors open. She walks to her desk. Her coworker is already there, already typing, already glowing with the smug satisfaction of someone who arrived at 8 a.m. and has already responded to all their emails. Justy. What if it doesn't have to be this way? There's a woman who is tired of rehearsing. There's a woman who is ready to perform. She doesn't know it yet. She doesn't feel it yet. Still trying. That's the thing about Jordan. That's the thing about you. She is just curious. What if I just did one thing? The train emerges from the tunnel into the fading July light. It is the beginning. Tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to think about Jordan.
We are all rehearsing failure. But rehearsals are not the final performance. The script can be rewritten. The blocking can be changed. The character can be transformed. It starts with one question, one small, quiet, almost invisible question. Asterisk, what if I just did one thing? Asterisk, you don't need to know what that thing is yet. You don't need to have a plan. You don't need to feel ready or confident or sure. You just need to ask the question. And then, when the answer comes, and it will come, you need to listen. The monster under the bed is not your phone. It's not your schedule. It's not your job or your relationships or your complete inability to wake up on time. The monster is the lie. And the lie cannot survive a question. So ask it tonight, tomorrow morning. In the scrolling, in the cold coffee, in the gray sweatshirt that has become your armor. Asterisk, what if I just did one thing? Asterisk, the answer is waiting. And it starts with yogurt, the good student trap. Here's the thing about horror movies nobody talks about. The monster isn't scary because it's ugly. It's scary because it looks like something you trust. At 10:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, Jordan is doing what she always does. She's in bed, even though she isn't tired. Her phone is on dark mode, brightness all the way down. The screen casts a soft blue glow across her face. Her thumb moves in slow, hypnotic circles. Scroll, pause, scroll, pause. She's watching a man in a crisp white button-down make cold brew in a Chemex. He's awake at 4:30 a.m. He does push-ups while the water boils. He journals. He meditates. He looks at the camera like he's doing you a favor just by existing. The caption reads, "Win the morning, win the day." Jordan saves the video to a folder called Morning Inspo. She has 47 videos in that folder. She has watched exactly 0 of them twice. Outside her window, a siren fades into the distance. The radiator clicks. Her phone battery drops to 12%. She does not plug it in. She scrolls. This is the part of the story where I'm supposed to tell you Jordan is lazy, that she lacks discipline, that if she just tried harder, bought the right planner, woke up 30 minutes earlier, everything would fall into place. But that's not true. And honestly, you already know it's not true. You know it because you have the folder too. Maybe yours is called Save for Later. Maybe it's called Goals. Maybe you don't save them at all. You just watch, feel that familiar ache in your chest, and keep scrolling. Jordan isn't lazy. Jordan is a good student. The good student believes that life is a syllabus, that somewhere there is a correct answer, that if she just finds the right system, follows the right protocol, buys the right shade of beige planner, she will finally get the A she's been chasing since 3rd grade. The good student was praised for being quiet, for following instructions, for turning things in on time. The good student was told that effort equals results. That if something isn't working, you just need to try harder. So Jordan tries harder. She buys the athletic greens dupe. She sets the alarm for 5:30 a.m. She charges her phone in the kitchen. She preps her coffee the night before. And when she still can't get out of bed? When the alarm goes off and she stares at the ceiling, paralyzed by exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix, she decides she is broken. Let me tell you about Alex. Alex is 32 years old. He lives in Washington, D.C. In a one-bedroom apartment 3 blocks from a metro stop he almost never uses because he works from home most Tuesdays. He owns a standing desk, a $400 office chair, and an espresso machine that his sister bought him for Christmas in 2022. For 2 years, Alex woke up at 5:15 a.m. every single day. He followed a routine he found on LinkedIn, posted by a man who runs a supplement company and refers to himself as a biohacker. Alex drank black coffee. He meditated for exactly 12 minutes. He journaled 3 things he was grateful for. He did not enjoy any of it, but he did it. Because the good student follows the syllabus. The problem was the math. Alex's brain did its best work around 10 a.m. That's when ideas clicked. When writing felt easy. When complex problems untangled themselves. By forcing himself to work at 6 a.m., he wasn't optimizing his day. He was fighting a war against his own biology. And every morning his biology won, he didn't sleep better. He didn't feel more productive. He just felt tired in a new, specific way, the exhaustion of performing a role that didn't fit. Then he quit, not dramatically, he didn't announce it. He just stopped setting the alarm. He let himself wake up at 7:30, then 8 o'clock. He started his first deep work block at 10 a.m. When his brain actually showed up, he stopped pretending he was a 5 a.m. person. 6 months later, he got promoted. Alex isn't a special case. He's not a productivity genius. He just stopped trying to be someone else. Here is a statistic that stopped me cold when I found it. 83% of workers aged 25 to 34 report feeling burned out. Not lazy, not unmotivated. Burned out, think about what that means. 83%. We are not talking about a fringe group. We are not talking about people who partied too hard in their 20s and never learned discipline. We are talking about the vast majority of an entire generation. You can't routine your way out of exhaustion. You can't bullet journal your way out of burnout. You can't optimize a system that was never designed for you in the first place. And yet, that's exactly what we try to do. We see a template 5 a.m., cold plunge, gratitude journal, and we force our bodies into it like Cinderella's stepsisters jamming their feet into the glass slipper. And when it doesn't fit, when the alarm goes off and we feel nothing but dread, we don't blame the slipper. We blame the foot.
Let's picture Jordan's phone screen, not the wallpaper, but the apps. I bring this up because the good student is excellent at collecting tools. But struggle is not a bug. Struggle is the operating system. But here's what they don't show you. That guy making cold brew at 4:30 a.m., he has bad days. The real addiction isn't the phone, it's the search itself.